What's going on, guys? I'm Randall. This is Grunt Proof. Today we're talking about rucking. Specifically, what rucks I use and how to pack those rucks. Let's go. If you followed me for a while, you know that Alice has always been my best girl. I've been dry and wet humping Alice for going on 19 years now. That pack has never failed me. It's always been my favorite. I have recently changed the ruck that I go out with, and we're going to get a little bit into that. But let's talk about how we're going to set our rucks up to go out and actually ruck. I'm going to throw this out there again. Rucking is about combat fitness and being fit to fight. And I don't remember being in a firefight where I had tennis shoes and shorts on. You should be wearing boots, and you should always be trying to wear some pants. As far as rucks go, as I said, I've recently changed my favorite ruck, but generally I go with two different rucks. The one that's been my favorite for so long, and you guys have seen it in almost all of my videos, is the original Alice. I got this baby issued to me in 2003 at my first duty station. She's still going strong. I still have the original straps and the original kidney pad. Needless to say, I should have replaced them, but hey, still works. As I've mentioned, the best thing about the Alice ruck is the fact that it has a frame that pushes a little bit off of your lower back. A lot of people complain about that, but what that does is it kind of forces you to lean forward just a tad. You lean forward at your hips, not at your lower back. That leaning forward actually keeps your intra-abdominal core muscles engaged. Engaging these core muscles, just like in weightlifting, is exactly what you need to protect your spine. If you have a weak core, most guys do, then you probably need to have a ruck with a frame on it, especially if you're doing long distances. I've actually seen guys on longer distances with those flat back rucks. After a while, they start to get tired, and you can actually watch their posture just go to hell. Well, guess what? If you got 30 plus pounds on your back and you have a disengaged core and your posture is shit, you're going to get injured. You need to stand up straight like a proud man, shoulders down and back, straps seated on your traps, and you want a little bit of a forward lean at your hips, and that will engage your core muscles. Yeah, you're going to feel it. After a while, you're going to want to start to get lazy. That's why in the beginner video, I tell you guys to start off light and short. So now let's get in fit. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the infantry way of putting on a ruck. We've got it held upside down by the frame. You throw it up. Leave it about at your shoulders. We're going to lean forward and tighten that sucker down as much as you can while you're bent over. Once you stand up, you should feel that this frame should be very high. Sometimes for me, it even hits that little bone on the back of my neck. I'll adjust from there, but otherwise you want the ruck, especially in Alice, as high as you can on your back. I know a lot of the newer guys love these load lifting straps. They never did anything for me because I knew how to put on a ruck properly from the beginning. So the ruck needs to be high, and even though I set it that way, after about 6+ miles, I will still have to adjust it and bring it up even higher. You should have the kidney pads right there in the small of your back. That stabilizes your back, and it also has you lean forward a little bit just to keep your core engaged. One thing that sucks with Alice is the waist belt. Most of you guys have been using the waist belts improperly, and I'll tell you why. Now let's talk about my new favorite ruck to ruck with. Well, let me guess, Randall, it's going to be another military surplus item that you were given for free. If that's what you were thinking, you are absolutely correct. This is my new favorite ruck. It is the medium Molly ruck. The only difference between this one and the second version is the Molly 2 comes with sustainment pouches to put on the outside. Generally, when I am rucking, I don't like to have a bunch of stuff hanging off the outside of my ruck. I like to keep it streamlined. It's just something I picked up during my grunt days. We didn't want a bunch of crap hanging off of our rucks, which is why I like the Alice, because it has plenty of pockets. You don't have to add any pouches. This one is great because you have improved shoulder pads. It still has a frame. It still gives you that little bit of forward lean so you can brace your core. More importantly, you have a belt that sits where it's supposed to sit. I always have the load lifting straps maxed out, pulled down as much as possible, and it gives me the same feeling as the Alice would. It's high up on my back, it's against my back. Now you've got the sternum strap and the waist belt where it's supposed to be, and you're talking about perfect spine protection. One thing with the sternum strap, a lot of people just use it, but it's still a little bit loose. The whole point of this is to bring the straps onto your traps where they're supposed to sit. One more reason I enjoy this ruck a lot more than Alice is it's smaller. Plus an Alice Ruck empty with the frame is anywhere from 12 to 15 pounds. That's a lot of weight for an empty ruck. As it starts to warm up, I go to the medium molly ruck for general camping and hiking, and when I'm rucking, it's ready to go. So let's get into how we pack rucks to go rucking. So we're gonna start with Alice since that's the easiest and it's how I learned to pack a ruck. First things first, as I said, I don't like to have a lot of junk hanging off my ruck, especially when I'm rucking for a workout. It helps me keep the load evenly distributed, and I also don't want a bunch of stuff clanging and clanging around while I'm trying to walk. So the majority of the outer pockets are empty. I might put something that I need to grab quickly in this upper flap. That's about it. Otherwise, everything is inside the ruck. I'm sure most of you know you want your lighter stuff on the bottom and you want your heaviest stuff up top. That's really hard to do when camping or going out hiking, but it's very easy to do for rucking. Generally, how I have my rucks packed to go rucking is I just have my basic camping stuff in there, and then I might pull out a few items that will throw off the weight or that I can't fit if I want to ruck. So I got a sleeping mat up top. I've got my poncho and bungee shelter up top. And then I've got, of course, the lightest on the bottom, and that is my MSS bivy with the jungle bag in there ready to go, and that's at the bottom. It's big and bulky, but it's still kind of light. Then I throw in my sleeping mat and my poncho up top. There we go. I've got a bag to ruck in, and I also have an emergency camping system should I get stuck somewhere. You may not know of this trick, but I have mentioned it in a few other videos. So we have this upper flap here, which is called a radio pouch. Generally, in the grunt world, your ruck is so full, you can't really fit anything large in there. We would basically have to strap our camelback to the top or the back some kind of way, or just put it on top of everything else in the ruck and then just cinch it down. Once I was able to pack my own way in the civilian world, I realized that you can actually fit a full 3-liter camelback. You just got to scrunch it up. You can put that right down there in your radio pouch, and you just leave your drinking hose sticking out the top, and boom, there you go. Now that's good because you have your water, which is probably going to be your heaviest item, right up top, right up against the upper part of your back. And you also have it kind of in a secured pouch where it's not wobbling all over the place. So let's say this was not enough weight for me. You have your camelback inside your ruck. One thing you can do, especially if you want to add weight, generally my camping gear is enough weight to get me at least 35 pounds. I don't usually go too much over that, especially if I'm doing some hard rucking. Usually this 10-pound dumbbell is enough. And guess what? You can put it right there in your radio pouch and cinch it down. It's right up there, high on your back, and it's not going anywhere. Another thing I've done, I've had my winter sleep system in here, which takes up almost half the freaking Alice, and then I had my camelback on top. And I was out of room, but I didn't have enough weight. So what I did was I took a kettlebell and threw it in there, and then I used the strap in the radio pouch, loop it through the kettlebell, cinch the strap down. Now you have a kettlebell being held by the handle right here by this strap. It's stuck in this pocket. Once you close this thing up, it's going to put pressure on that. The kettlebell's not going to be swinging around. And again, your heaviest item is up here on the top of your back. A lot of people depend on these newer rucks with plate systems and all this stuff. And if you want to spend the money on that, fine, go ahead. But I learned these methods because I did not want to spend that much money on rucking, and I wanted to use what I already had. So let's get to the Molly medium ruck, and I'll show you how I pack that. As I said, I generally have my full-blown camping system in the ruck, and if I need more weight, I will add weight. Otherwise, my camping stuff is usually good enough. The problem with this ruck, however, is unlike the Alice, which is heavy on its own because of the metal frame, this one is not that heavy. In the grunt world, we usually didn't count water weight, so we would say a 35-pound ruck minus water. Obviously, as you're drinking your water, your ruck weight goes down. This is exactly how I would go camping with this. I have my 4-liter MSR dromedary bag in the actual drinking compartment. So if I needed to add weight, what do? We want that weight nice and high. So if the ruck is totally full, I'll find a way to put this dumbbell right up top, and hopefully it won't maneuver all over the place and throw my weight off. Otherwise, you also have a radio system in here. It's for the ASIPS radio. It's a lot smaller, and it has a couple clips and straps. So you can fumble with this thing and add clips and other straps to it and try to find a way to get your weight stuck on it. But here's what I've done. I'll actually set it right here on the strap where it's resting and it's not going anywhere. I'll take this strap and I'll put it through the radio antenna opening. So now we've got tension here. This weight is secured right up at the top. And then I'll just take a carabiner and clip it on there like that. Boom. That weight is secured high up on the back again, and it's not going anywhere. Give you guys a better view. So there's your radio harness system. You set the weight on there. You could do it with a kettlebell also. You're gonna have to loop that strap in there. You pull it up, and it's going to center itself because you're bringing the strap over to the center of your ruck. And just any old beaner will work. So there we go. That thing is not going anywhere. I could still add the rest of my stuff in there. Like there's my hammock, set it on there. And then as I close it up, everything will be compressed on it. That weight is not going anywhere. Now I have most of the extra weight all the way at the top of the ruck, at the top of my back. And it's as close to my body as I can get it. I've also taken extra stuff out of this top pocket, and you can fit a weight in there like that, especially a small kettlebell or even a small weight plate, and get it closed. Now, again, only with military surplus can you force zippers closed like this. So that's high up on your back, but it is a little bit far away from your back. So that may not work for all of you guys. It hasn't bothered me that much. It's only 10 pounds, but that's just another way to add weight. Well, that's it, guys. To summarize, we want to put the lightest items on the bottom and then work our way up to the top with the heaviest stuff on top, preferably as close to your upper back as you can get it. And the main point in filling your ruck up with light stuff is just so you have a full ruck. I've seen guys go out with an empty Alice pack and just put a bunch of weight up here in this radio pouch, and that worked for them. That never worked for me because an empty ruck would bother me if I was moving quick, flapping all over the place. So that's why we put something in the ruck. Next, we want to try to evenly distribute the load. If you have to add weights, make sure you can secure them in some kind of manner so they're not bouncing all over the place. Lastly, when we're talking about putting the ruck on, you need to make sure you pull it up as high as possible. If you have these load lifting straps, pull them all the way down. That'll pull the ruck up a little bit. It'll also pull the weight up against your upper back. Make sure your sternum straps are adjusted to where the shoulder straps sit where they're supposed to. And believe me, after about mile 8 or 12, you're going to know if you put them in the wrong spot. I would suggest once you set it, you even tape it or secure it in some manner to where it's not going to come undone. And then you got to figure it out all over again on your next long hike. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and make sure you like and subscribe. And until the next video, I will see you guys in the outdoors. Take care.